You can't tell me my skin don't look good. No? Too much? Probably. What is going on, Slay Baes? It's Ashley and welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I'm splitting my face right down the middle and I'm putting affordable products on one side and high-end products on the other. You guys know I love to film these videos. I feel like it's so nice to kind of compare products side by side, especially when they vary in price point, to see if in fact they are spot on dupes for each other. So today's video is going to be an extension of my last dupes video where I pretty much talked about new affordable dupes for high-end beauty products. Some people were doubting the fact that the Physicians Formula palette was a spot-on dupe for the Huda Beauty palette, and they also questioned the performance, so I really wanted to put them side by side. I am wearing both palettes on my eyes today, so if you guys can guess which side is cheap and which side is high-end, pause the video and let me know down below in the comments because I would love to read your responses. If you guys are not yet subscribed to my channel, y'all already know what to do. Press that subscribe button. It is completely free. Also, while you're at it, click that bell so that way YouTube will notify you when I upload, which is every Monday and Wednesday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. With that, we're gonna jump into the video because it's gonna be a pretty lengthy one. Let's go. So the first thing I'm going to start off with is eyeshadow primer. By the way, I did already do like my skincare routine. I put on my under eye cream, moisturizer, all of that, which is why my skin is looking very like hydrated and moisturized. I just wanted to get that out there. I put the same products on both sides because we're not testing out skincare, we're testing out makeup. So I'm going to start off with the affordable side. For the affordable side, I will be using the Revolution Pro Eye Elements Eye Primer in the shade Core. You guys know how much I love this stuff. I'm going to put it on my left side. So left is going to be affordable and right is going to be high end, which is kind of weird because all my affordable stuff is on my right side and all my high end stuff is on my left side, but it's a lot easier for me to kind of grab and just, I don't know, I'm weird like that. I'm going to take this all over to prime. It's really just going to mute out my eyelids and just create a nice even base for eyeshadow application. Alright, so for the high-end side, I will be using the MAC Soft Ochre Paint Pot, literally almost the same exact thing. And I say almost because the biggest differences between the two is that the one from MAC is just slightly more yellow base, and it's also a little bit creamier than that of the one from Revolution Pro. I have noticed that the one from Revolution Pro is just slightly more dry, so if you do find MAC paint pots to be drying at all whatsoever, you may not like the Revolution Pro one. Now that I think of it, but honestly I don't mind because I do put on my eye cream right before I actually do my makeup. So the one from Revolution Pro really just glides on and it sets everything down, covers everything up, and it's just a really good alternative option to the one from MAC. The one from MAC is in like the $20 range, whereas one from Revolution Pro is like $8. So now that my eyes are prime, let's jump into eyeshadow. So sticking with the high-end side, I will be using the Huda Beauty New Nudes eyeshadow palette. Oh my god, this is such a beautiful palette. The formula is incredible. I really love Huda Beauty eyeshadows in general, just because they're very blendable. I love the pigmentation, they're creamy, buttery, all of that. The first shade I'm going to take is called Play. It's that really pretty, like, soft creamsicle shade, and I'm going to take it into my crease, and this is going to be my transitional shade. Alright, that is looking pretty good. Now let's move on to the affordable side. The dupe I have for the affordable side is by Physicians Formula. This is the brand new Rose All Day eyeshadow palette. I was actually very surprised because when I did my dupes video, I had someone tell me that they hated this palette. The formula was awful, and I don't find that to be true whatsoever. So I'm going to put it to the test in today's video. I'm going to show you guys exactly why I love this palette. I'm going to take this peach shade right here, which is a dupe for the shade we put on the high-end side, and I am using an M441. This palette actually doesn't have a mirror, so I'm going to use a mirror from the Huda Beauty side, but I am in fact using the product from the Physicians Formula palette. I just need a mirror that's a little bit closer, just so that way I'm not like looking like this, because my monitor is here, the lens is here, I have a mirror super far back, and I just need something a little bit closer. So hopefully you don't mind. So I definitely feel like the shade is blending really well, if not just as good as the one from Huda Beauty. Now I'm gonna go back to the high-end side and I'm gonna take this shade right here. It's called Teddy. It's a really pretty soft brown shade, and I'm gonna use that same brush I used when I applied the shade called Play. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start right here in the outer V, and I'm just gonna kind of blow it out. I've been doing this technique a lot with like soft brown eyeshadows. I actually wore it in my dupes video, and someone left me a comment saying that they feel like my makeup is a million times better when I'm doing talking videos as opposed to my makeup tutorials. So I'm going to kind of mimic that same technique, where I am gonna kind of create a soft glam makeup look with these shades here. It's not gonna be as neutral as what I wore in the video, just because these are pinky tones, but it is kind of like the same concept. So I'm just taking it in the outer V, and this is more of a fluffier brush. This here is a ABH A10, but you can use an M433. I'm taking it in the outer V, and I'm really starting to blow it out. And I'm also gonna take it just a little bit in the crease and on the lid as well. This is really meant to be a really pretty, like, blown out soft glam smoky eye, if you will. So I'm going to continue taking that shade called Teddy, and I'm going to use it to build up the crease. The dupeable shade from the Physicians Formula palette is this one right here. I'm going to take that on that same M441, and I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm going to focus it in the outer V, and I'm going to go in big circular motions just to get a really, really nice blend going. Wow. I'm actually liking the way that the affordable side is blending a lot better than the one from Huda Beauty, but it could just be because I have not blended that kind of soft brown shade all over the lid. So let's do that. Again, I'm putting it in my lid, a little bit in my crease, but I'm definitely not getting too crazy with this. Going back to the high-end side, I'm going to take the Huda Beauty palette and I'm going to pick up the shade called Raw. It's a really pretty burgundy shade, and I am using an M514. I'm really just going to focus this right here in like the outer V. I'm not going to take it above the crease at all whatsoever. I'm really just kind of taking it in at a slant. So think about like a slant like this. And this is just going to draw a little bit more depth to this outer part. Now the next shade I'm going to take from the Physicians Formula palette is this shade right here. Actually, let me switch to a clean brush. This is a clean M514. I'm going to use this shade right here, the dupeable shade from the Huda Beauty palette, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm really going to blow it out in the outer edge. Damn, that shit blended out so well. I'm a little shook. I definitely need more of a bigger brush. I'm going in with an M433 with just a little bit of that eyeshadow on it from the Physicians Formula palette. And I'm just gonna go to town. I'm gonna go in big circular motions to get a really soft blend going. I am gonna jump right back into the higher end palette. I wanna pick up the shade called Bear from the Huda Beauty palette here. And what I like to do whenever I'm doing like this soft glam blown out smoky eyes, I won't really play around with shimmer just because I feel like shimmer can really elevate a look, and I wanted to keep it a little bit more toned down. So I'm picking up Bear, which is that bone colored in the palette, and I'm going to just ever so slightly lighten the very inner corner, and that is a lot more pigmented than I thought it was going to be, but I am just going to simply pat it right in here. And even though I have a little bit of that pink in the very inner corner, I feel like just dusting this there just adds a subtle amount of lightness to the eyes, which is what I've been doing in like all of my looks recently. I'm going to wipe this off on a paper towel, and I'm going to take the bone colored shadow from the Physicians Formula palette here, and I'm going to do the exact same thing on the affordable side. So I've been really into this eyeliner right here by NARS. This is the High Pigment Long Wear Eyeliner. This is so creamy. Normally I wouldn't like recommend any high-end crayon eyeliners, but there's something very, very different about this formula. The shade I'm gonna use is Last Frontier, and it is a really pretty brown. Now I'm not gonna use two different brown eyeliners just because I don't have one to dupe for this video, but I am just going to simply take this and I'm going to just create a line on my lash line, and I'm going to kind of blow it out and smoke it out in the slightest bit just to kind of give definition to this look. Then with some sort of angled brush, I'm just going to buff it out before it completely dries. So like, do you see how soft that line is? Like, it's not too thick, it's not too harsh, it's very, very thin. And honestly, it's just to kind of line my eye right before lashes. I just feel like my lashes go on that much better. So I'm gonna use the same exact eyeliner on the high end side, and I'm gonna use that same technique by buffing it out with an angled brush. Let's actually move on to lashes. I do have these lashes right here by Makeup Geek. I'm gonna put them both on. I'm not gonna do like one lash here, one lash there, because odds are I'm not gonna be able to find a pair of lashes that are exactly the same. But these here are so pretty. These are in the style Ava. These are the new 3D foam ink eyelashes. I picked mine up at Target and they were like maybe, I don't know, $10.99, $11 max. Very, very affordable. So I'm gonna pop these on and then we'll finish off with the rest of the face. Okay guys, so my lashes, they're on. They're so pretty, so natural, kind of wispy. I'm actually really digging this style. Again, the style I am wearing is the Ava 3D Foam Ink Eyelashes by Makeup Geek. 11 bucks at Target. Go get you some. So cute. I am gonna now use a little bit of my MAC Extended Play Giga Black Lash Mascara on the high end side, so my right side. And I'm just going to coat my lashes in with these falsies. I'm only gonna take it at the base of my lash, and I'm not gonna comb it all the way through. This technique is really gonna help preserve the life of the lashes, because if you take mascara all the way through the tips, honestly, they're not really gonna last you all that long at all. And I want my lashes to last as long as possible. Now for the affordable side, I will be using the Dupes product, which is the Lash Discovery Mini Brush Mascara. And the reason I'm using this as a dupe, because it is the only thing that reminds me of my MAC Extended Play Giga Black Lash Mascara. Whew, that's a mouthful. I've tried so many mini brush mascaras and nothing really compares, with the exception of this one right here. Okay, let's talk about primer. I'm definitely gonna need to prime the face. I'm gonna start off with the high-end side. I'm gonna use the Smashbox Photo Finish Super Light Primer. This is a smoothing and blurring primer. Honestly, one of my favorite ones from Smashbox. I'm gonna take a little bit. That's probably enough for my whole face, but it's okay. I'm gonna take it onto a brush just because I feel like it'll be a lot easier for me to apply. And I'm just gonna put it right here in this area to kind of prep my skin. And put it all over. Now, I don't find this to be as thick as like a silicone-based primer, like let's say Tatcha Silk Canvas or even like e.l.f. Poreless Putty, but it does a good job prepping my skin before foundation. And it doesn't feel heavy at all. It doesn't break me out, so it's everything I would actually want in a primer. For the affordable side, the Dupes product I have is by CoverGirl. This is the True Blend Base Business skin smoothing primer. Hold up, I couldn't read the front for a second, but this is a spot on dupe for the one from Smashbox. I have talked about these two before and they are just crazy good. CoverGirl has some of the best face primers I have tried from the drugstore, so if you haven't tried it out, definitely go give it a whirl. It leaves my skin so hydrated, so smooth. Ooh, is that the fallout? Yeah, just gonna blend that in. But yeah, it leaves my skin so smooth. Bruh. Only happens to me. What was I saying? It leaves my skin so smooth and so hydrated. It's honestly one of those feelings that you have to feel for yourself to truly understand what it is I'm talking about. For foundation, the high-end side, I will be using the NARS Natural Radiant Long Wearing Foundation. Now I am using a very dark shade because I am self-tan right now, so do not be alarmed if you normally follow all of my foundation shade recommendations. Just know this one's a little deeper because your girl got some color. For the affordable side, I will be using the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Foundation. This is a dewy version, literally a spot on dupe for the one from NARS. Just saying, go get you some. This one is so affordable, so good. I was blown away by the performance, and the first thing it reminded me of was this one by NARS. So I'm just going to apply it with a brush. This here is a Sephora number 47. The coverage of this, so good, so good. When I tell you there's just something so oddly satisfying about applying the NARS foundation to my skin, girl, if you haven't tried it, don't. Because I have a spot on dupe. The dupe, again, is the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Dewy Foundation, and I'm using the shade Golden Beige. I know, when am I ever golden? I love that it has a spatula. So I'm just gonna apply it straight to my skin. Probably not the most sanitary for my acne-prone skin, but I honestly don't mind it. And the sponge I'm using is by e.l.f. One of my favorite sponges, hands down. It's like $5 at Ulta. Probably should pick another one up. I feel like the one from NARS is just slightly deeper, like more tan than the golden one, but I think they're pretty close. And if not, I'm gonna take this and dab it all over this side because I can't be going outside looking crazy. Formula's the same, colors might be slightly off. Okay, so that's enough of blending. I'm just gonna kind of tap over here too, but I'm sure some of you will say that's cheating. But anyways, let's move on. For the high-end side, I'm gonna use the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer, and I am using light neutral. I actually wanna apply this like a little bit different. Instead of just going in straight with the applicator, I'm gonna put it on the back of my hand, and I'm gonna start warming it up with my finger. And then once I've done that, I want to go in with just like a bigger brush. You know what? I'm gonna go in, no, that's too big. What am I gonna do? Ooh, I'm gonna go in with this brush right here by Fenty. This is the Eyeshadow 240. I'm gonna take this brush, dip it into the concealer, and I'm gonna start just patting it, just because I do want more of like a natural effect. Ooh, this is really pretty for blending out concealer. How is this even an eyeshadow brush? I would never think to use that for eyeshadow. Just turned into my new concealer brush. How about that? So I'm gonna move on to the other eye, and because I know somebody might come for me in the comments, I am using some brush cleaner to clean off that Fenty brush because I loved the way it blended out that concealer, and I kind of want the same effect. So I'm just gonna clean it off really quick. By the way, the brush cleaner I'm using is this one right here by IT Cosmetics. It's not like my absolute favorite, but it's just what I have on hand. I'll have it listed down below. It gets the job done. And it doesn't leave my brushes sopping wet like some other brush cleaners I've tried. Oh, hell no! For the affordable side, I will be using this one right here by CoverGirl. This is the True Blend Undercover Concealer in the shade Golden Natural. Now, this might not even be remotely close to the one from Tarte, but hopefully you can't tell. Okay, yeah, so it is a little darker, but whatever. Hopefully powder will hide the fact that they're two different colors. All right, so my under eye area is nice and blended out. Honestly, I kind of like the CoverGirl side just a little bit better because I haven't really been into a very stark under eye. Not to say that the one from Tarte is stark, but I do sense that it is just slightly lighter than the one from CoverGirl, but not a deal breaker. I'm really loving the way my skin is looking right now. I do want to finish off my lower lash line really quick before I actually get into under eye powder. So I'm going to finish off my lower lash line with the Physicians Formula palette. So I'm going to do the affordable side, and I'm going to pick up that light brown shade from the palette, and I'm just going to smudge it out, smoke it out, and really just bring the entire look together. Then I'm going to take just a little bit of that peach, and I'm going to use this to really just soften up the edges. So the last shade I'm going to take is this one right here, and I'm going to take it on a flat definer brush, and I'm going to push this closest to my lash line just to kind of pinch the eye in the outer V area. Now you guys know I always have to put something in my waterline, so for the high end side I will be using this right here by NARS. This is the High Pigment Longwear Eyeliner in the shade Rue Bonaparte. Probably butchered that, I know I did, but I'm gonna put this in my waterline just to draw forth some light. I love to put a nude in my waterline, but I'm sure you guys already knew that. Now for the affordable side, I will be using an eyeliner by ColourPop. Now I don't think that these two are like spot on formula dupes. Color dupes, yes, I do find the one from ColourPop to be slightly more drying than the one from NARS. The NARS eye crayons are so creamy, it's unreal. Definitely probably my new like high-end eyeliner, but I'm gonna take this one by ColourPop. This is in the shade Honey Nude or Honey Dude, and I am gonna do the same exact thing to really just brighten up that waterline. And you guys already know the drill with mascara. I'm gonna go back into the MAC Extended Play Giga Black Lash Mascara. This is gonna coat my bottom lashes, and then I'm gonna take the Maybelline one on the affordable side. You know what I just realized? I put on mascara before I set my under eyes, which is the complete opposite of how things should be. But I'm gonna take this by Physicians Formula. This is the Natural Defense Finishing Powder. This is a spot on dupe for the Charlotte Tilbury Micro Powder. Oh, it is so good. I'm just gonna take it on a fluffy brush at this point just because I really wanna control where I'm putting the product and I don't want it to get like everywhere, AKA on my lower lash mascara. Now for the other side, I will be using the Charlotte Tilbury Micro Finish Powder. This one's in the shade 2. Usually I set my under eye area with shade 1, but we're just gonna set it with 2 today. Hopefully it doesn't get too dark. Okay, it's looking a little dark, so I am gonna go in with the Physicians Formula one on this side, but just know the shade 1 is a dupe for this Physicians Formula powder. I just don't have the shade in front of me. I'm sorry. I'm a failure. I'm actually gonna take the Tati Beauty Puff, and I'm gonna pick up a little bit of that Physicians Formula powder, and I'm gonna press it. I'm gonna press the coverage into my skin. And my thoughts on the Tati Beauty Blendables, I do really, really like them. Again, I am using that Physicians Formula powder underneath the high-end side too, because I don't have the same exact color match in my Charlotte Tilbury powder. So I hope you guys don't mind. I'm also going to take the lighter shade on my chin and also on my forehead to highlight. And I'm using the Blendable because nothing is better than powder with a Blendable. let's actually talk about face powder. Now the face powder I will be using today is actually a waterproof powder. I did talk about this in my affordable dupes video where I just like talked about them. This here is the Urban Decay All Nighter Waterproof Setting Powder, and it does have a slight tint to it in the pan. The only thing I will say about this is that if you apply way too much to your brush, things can start to get a little weird. They can get wonky, so definitely go in with a very light hand and then just lightly dust it over the skin. I do know for a fact that this really helps with the overall longevity of my makeup because I live in Florida. It's hot, it's humid. It's very hard to keep my makeup on my face on days that are just super hot, and I can attest that this really just keeps everything locked in place. So I'm just lightly dabbing it onto my skin, making sure it's waterproof, making sure it's not going anywhere. Okay. I'm just gonna brush away that powder on my hand, and I'm gonna go in with the dupe. This here is the Catrice Prime and Fine Mattifying Powder. It is also a transparent powder, but it's super white in the pan. Honestly, I don't know why the one from Urban Decay looks a little brown, but it's transparent as well, but we're gonna roll with it. I'm gonna use that same brush, and I'm just going to press this into my skin to set it all down and in place. You can't tell me my skin don't look good. No? Too much? Probably. Now I don't have a bronzer dupe. Don't kill me. So with the power of editing, bronzer is done. Ow. Anyways, let's move on to blush. Now the high-end blush I'm going to be using is this one right here by Anastasia. This is one of my personal favorites. This is the Blush Trio in Peachy Love. Now I do know that you can find this in like Marshall's, TJ Maxx, Ross, wherever you find high-end makeup for an affordable price point. They do have this there, so definitely snag it up if you want like a higher quality blush. I'm going to be taking this onto my cheeks. I'm just going to take my brush in all three, smile, and just hit my cheeks with it, just to give my skin a little flesh of color. I am going to wipe off my brush because I only have one of these, and this is one of my favorite blush brushes. And then I'm going to go in with the Dupable Blush Palette. This one here is by LA Girl. This is the Island Hottie Blush Palette. You could definitely see that these are very similar. I have used them in previous full face dupes videos, but I haven't come across a dupe palette as good as these right here. So Island Hottie, Peachy Love, definitely spot on dupes. The only difference is that the one from LA Girl has like some shimmers and stuff to it, but I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to kind of dip my brush in all the shades, and I'm going to pop it on the affordable side. Honestly, it's just going to give you the same exact effect. Okay, now I'm going to go in with the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Palette. This is such an expensive palette. It retails for like $64. I've had this in my collection since I started, and I can't get rid of it because of how much it costs. But I really love this middle shade here. I'm going to take it on this Smashbox brush. This is a Precise blush brush. And I'm just going to brush it like right underneath my eyes, like on the apples of my cheeks. It gives my skin such a gorgeous glow. And I'm also going to swipe it all the way up my cheekbone just to add a subtle highlight. Don't worry, I will be going in with an intense highlight here in a minute. But you could definitely see how beautiful that makes your skin look. It definitely looks more natural than like an intense highlight if you ask me. So I'm going to take whatever's on the brush, wipe it off, and we're going to go in with the Dupable product, which is the Deluxe Glow Highlighter by Catrice. As you can see, these look very similar. I will say the one from Hourglass looks slightly more beaming and iridescent than the ones from Catrice, but this retails for $4. This is $64. I mean, there's going to be somewhat of a quality difference, but it's kind of like the same concept. So I'm going to take that same brush by Smashbox, and I'm going to do the same thing. Just going to swipe it here on my cheek. And I'm going to go all the way up my cheekbone and underneath my eye. So the one from Hourglass definitely performs a lot better than the more affordable side. I will definitely say I feel like this is well worth the money, like well worth the splurge, just because I love the way it looks on my skin. The one from Catrice is just slightly powdery. You're not gonna be as glossy as like pop-in as the one from Hourglass, but it definitely is a really, really awesome alternative to the higher end product, if you ask me. Let's move on. What are we talking about now? Let's move on to highlight. Now this highlight blew you guys away. This is the Amrezy highlighter. I want to say it came back in stock sometime last year, but I'm not entirely sure if it's still available now. But I'm going to use this as the highlight for the high end side, and the brush I'm using is an ABH A23. I'm going to pop this on the highest point of my cheekbone. This is an iconic highlight. Let me just say that. Let's go in with the dupeable version. I'm gonna use this one right here by Revlon. This is a new product for Revlon. This is the Skin Lights Prismatic Highlighter in the shade Daybreak Glimmer. Literally spot on dupe for the Amrezy highlighter. You definitely have to go and pick it up. Like literally, don't walk.
Run.
Because I feel like these are gonna be flying off the shelf here in a little bit. I'm gonna use another one of my ABH A23s. I have quite a few of these. And I'm just gonna pop it on. Also gonna take the highlight on the affordable side and I'm gonna put it right here in my inner tear duct. Just to make it pop. I'm gonna clean off that brush and then I'm gonna pick up some of the Amrezy highlighter and I'm gonna put it on the high end side. For lip liner, I'm gonna use MAC Strip Down for the high end side. Y'all know how obsessed I've been with Strip Down. I'm gonna use this to line my lips and I'm gonna fill it in completely. And for the affordable side, I'm gonna use the LA Girl lip liner in the shade Bare. Literally spot on dupe for Strip Down by MAC. I'm now gonna go in with gloss. Now for the high end side, I will be using the Desi X Katie gloss in the shade Over the Top Luna. You're knocking the camera down, baby. I'm gonna go in with Over the Top on the higher end side. I really love this gloss. It literally makes your lips look incredible. And then for the affordable side, I'm gonna use the, what is this? The Modern Metals gloss in the shade 84540. I don't know if that's a shade, but this is literally a spot on dupe for Over the Top, with the exception is that this one's more champagne and this one's more golden. But honestly, when you have them on the lips, you can't tell at all. So let's do it. And to set everything down and in place, for the high-end side, I will be using MAC Fix Plus. And then for the affordable side, I'm gonna use the Catrice Illuminating Prime and Fine Dewy Glow Fixing Spray. Literally holy grail. Love this so much. Whoo! And this is literally my face split in half, affordable, high-end. Tell me if you could tell the difference. I'll wait. I'll wait. I'll wait. All right, Slay Base, I went ahead and zoomed out just so that way you can kind of get a feel for both looks. And I say both looks, but realistically, I only need one look because, honey, you can't even tell the difference. I feel like if I was to go out, rock this makeup look, nobody would be able to tell that I'm wearing two completely different products on each side of my face. So definitely check out the dupes I mentioned in today's video. I'll have them all listed down below in the description box. And if you guys want to see any more videos just like this, make sure you guys smash that like button. And while you're at it, subscribe to my channel. It's completely free. And y'all already know, if it's free, it's for me. So if it's free, I know it's for you too. With that, I don't have much else to say except I love you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. And until next time, I'll be sure to catch you guys all on the next one. Deuces.